4 years after Russia invaded Ukraine, Congress is sounding the alarm. Lawmakers are now racing to modernize America's military manufacturing, produce thousands of drones a month, and prepare for the next generation of warfare. The question is simple. Is the U.S. moving fast enough to stay ahead?
Thank you, Chair. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that Russia invaded the sovereign country of Ukraine 4 years ago today. May we keep our focus while we continue to learn the tactics that will keep civilians safe and continue our readiness in the fight of good versus evil. I want to welcome Assistant Secretary Ingram, General Rime, and my friend General Mohan. Someone who, before this very hearing today, shared some great memories of you and your wife when you were stationed in Rock Island, and we are thankful for your service as a Quad citizen, I would say. I'm so glad that today we get to talk about modernizing our organic industrial base, because this is such an important topic, and it's something that all of my neighbors who work around the Rock Island Arsenal know firsthand. Last year, as part of our NDAA, we created a pilot workload sustainment program with Army depots and arsenals modeled after my Arsenal Workload Sustainment Act. The House and the Senate include this language because having a more predictable workload is critical to sustaining our OIB workforce and meeting the dynamic needs of our warfighters. It's a proven model. It builds off of successful public-private partnerships like the one that we have at Rock Island's JMTC and AM General. For Assistant Secretary Ingraham and as well as General Mohan, could either of you comment on the timeline for developing guidance on implementing Section 348, as well as any guidance, formal and informal, that you are providing to OIB leadership to encourage that we have more partnerships in the future?
Sir, I would just point directly to the Organic Industrial Base Integration Cell that we have established in the Pentagon. That is a teamwork event with Mr. Ingraham and his staff, where as we implement acquisition reform, we will have representation in each one of the PAEs that will get it on the front end. Again, the front end of the acquisition process to say this work is going to go to the organic industrial base to balance that between the OIB and the broader DIB.
Congressman, I can't speak to the past, but what I can tell you is, as we've set up this optimization cell, this is an opportunity for General Mohan and I to look at every platform that's coming through. Whatever the new platform is, the new widget, old widgets, as they come through the acquisitions, sort of cycle, we are looking at them to figure out where is the best place to sustain and maintain these. And again, driving those direct labor hours back into the OIB, because we need those direct labor hours on the ground.
Great. And then as we get up front of the process, then that allows us to tailor our modernization program. So for example, looking at the future for the MV-75, we know that we're going to have to do composites. So we are working and developing that composite repair capability right now at Corpus Christi, for example. And we're doing that well ahead of the first fielding. That's the model we're following, sir.
Great. I've been really encouraged by the Army's effort to establish Sky Foundry and meet its goal of 3D printing 10,000 drones per month. I'm especially glad to see that the Army is leveraging the Additive and Advanced Manufacturing Center for Excellence at Rock Island Arsenal, and it's important that it remains part of Sky Foundry. General Mohan, can you comment more on the ecosystem that AMC is setting up to support Sky Foundry? And beyond drones, do you see that this setup could be something that could be used to bring manned or unmanned other systems to the Army?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the question. So Sky Foundry is a broader subset or a smaller subset of our broader advanced manufacturing effort that we're ongoing. And so for example, and Sky Foundry is part of a network. And the equipment that we're and the capability that we're building as part of that are useful for other things. So for example, we already do 3D printing of circuit cards at Tobyhanna Army Depot for radar and radios. So we will produce circuit cards for UAS off the same machines. The composite or the carbon fiber based 3D printing capability that we were expanding at Rock Island is carbon fiber that we will use for multiple types of projects. But the key piece, sir, is to build the network and connect it all digitally, because as you know, the goal is that our production facilities run lights out. And so having that ecosystem of capability connected digitally, so we can move workload around to wherever where we have machine time, so those machines are constantly producing. Because as you know, we have titanium printing machines that will take 4 days to print a part. we cannot afford to have one that is not running all the time. And so that is part of that broader challenge that we're facing. And then the last thing, if I can, is it's not only we know how to reverse engineer, we know how to produce parts, but then we put them through an antiquated qualification process. And my partner, Mr. Ingraham, as well as General Hodney, that is our next big target, is to move that qualification process to the front side of the manufacturing process using digital simulation and modeling. So if we can run an M88 for 5,000 miles in a synthetic environment to test a part, that is what industry does. And so we're actively attacking that right now.
Let us know what this committee can do to help expedite that.
Yes,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I get back.
I thank the gentleman, and I'll go.
What we just heard in this hearing reveals something extremely important about the future of American national security. While most people focus on headlines about wars or military operations, the real backbone of military strength often lies somewhere less visible, inside factories, industrial bases, and the technology that keeps equipment ready for the battlefield. The congressman began by acknowledging something that still shapes global politics today: Russia's invasion of Ukraine. 4 years after that invasion, the world is still witnessing how modern warfare is evolving. Drones, advanced manufacturing, and rapid equipment production are now just as critical as traditional military power. That's why this hearing focused heavily on modernizing what is known as the organic industrial base, the network of U.S. military depots, arsenals, and facilities responsible for maintaining and producing equipment for American forces. For many Americans, these facilities may sound technical or distant, but they represent a vital part of the country's defense infrastructure. Places like the Rock Island Arsenal in Illinois employ thousands of workers and serve as hubs for maintaining vehicles, repairing equipment, and supporting the readiness of American troops. Modernizing these facilities isn't just about technology, it's also about sustaining a highly skilled workforce that ensures the United States can respond quickly in times of crisis. One of the most striking points raised during the hearing was the Army's push to dramatically increase drone production. Through an initiative called Sky Foundry, the Army aims to produce up to 10,000 drones every month using advanced manufacturing techniques like 3D printing. This is a clear sign that military planners understand how rapidly warfare is changing. In conflicts like the war in Ukraine, drones have become one of the most decisive tools on the battlefield, providing surveillance, precision targeting, and tactical advantages that didn't exist at this scale just a decade ago. But the real innovation here is not just about building drones. It's about creating an interconnected manufacturing ecosystem that can produce many different military components quickly and efficiently. Using advanced 3D printing technology, facilities can produce parts like circuit boards, radar components, and even carbon fiber structures used in aircraft and other military systems. Instead of waiting months for parts to be manufactured and delivered through traditional supply chains, these facilities can create them directly when and where they are needed. This is exactly the kind of forward-looking investment that many Democrats have been advocating for when it comes to strengthening American competitiveness and national security. Modern defense isn't just about weapons. It's about technology, supply chains, and innovation. By investing in advanced manufacturing and digital networks that connect facilities across the country, the United States can maintain its technological edge while supporting high-skill American jobs. If you want more deep explanations of the political decisions shaping America's security, economy, and future, make sure you subscribe to Blue Voice. Share this video with someone who wants to understand what's really happening behind the headlines, and join the discussion in the comments. Your voice matters, and staying informed is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen our democracy.